Good evening and welcome to
Epilepsy
Epilepsy.
Today!
Yeah, here we are again, Margo.
Again, here we are.
Yes, and it's time for news, weather, and sports. The newest stuff that's happening in the wacky world of...
Epilepsy.
Yes, this is.
And you know what's so funny? When I was teaching the kids about it, that's how they say it too. Like, we wonder about epilepsy. Oh! While we're doing news, weather, and sports, I got a thing that I did. You should be able to give me a high five.
High five.
Okay, I'm ready. So, you know, November was Epilepsy
It
Awareness
was,
Month.
yes.
And
You did something special?
I did something special with
You
the
always
kids.
did something special.
We talked about epilepsy, and I talked to them about the different varying waves and what happens, and they remembered a lot about when we did the puppet show.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about the first aid, as far as first aid procedures, and then we did as an activity, we had molding clay, and everybody made their own purple ribbon, and they could take them home.
Cool.
So I have a picture of them. I just have to. Everything is kind of quirky at school, but I have a picture, and they all wore purple one day for epilepsy, and they have this. I made this little sign, and they're holding it. It says "We Seize Hope." So I'm gonna try to drop it off. So it was really cute.
Really neat.
And they've learned a lot, and I was excited about that. So I had to put that in our news, that even 5-year-olds, if a 5-year-old can know what to do in case of a seizure,
Anybody can. You are absolutely right. That is great.
Yeah, it was fun. They were really
And
excited.
that's when you have to reach out to them. You have to get them early, you know.
Now they have epilepsy women's.
That's sweet. That is really, really nice. But we've got new exciting stuff that's happening in the world of epilepsy.
What we got going on?
Well, the first thing that I think everybody who watches us religiously,
Of course.
if there is any such animal.
People DVR us. Did you know that?
Oh, stop.
I don't know, but I just figured I'd say it.
Well, you can watch us anytime on YouTube.
This
All
is
you
right.
have to do is go to YouTube and do a search for Epilepsy Today. And we come right up. And there it is. It's Margo and Tom. Yeah!
Everybody was so forward. I have to check again.
And please like us.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the more you like us, the higher we go. And
I was gonna say, you said the last time we had like what, 27 views
yeah, we
or
better
something?
get more. We
Yeah.
need more.
We gotta start
We
going
want
out there
more.
on the streets and start putting our picket signs up. Watch us.
Yes.
Epilepsy Today.
But here we go. NeuroPace Incorporated today announced that the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has granted pre-market approval for the NeuroPace responsive neurostimulation system, a treatment for adults with partial onset seizures that have not been controlled with 2 or more anti-epileptic drugs. The RNS system is a novel implantable therapeutic device that delivers responsive neurostimulation. So what it does is they implant it inside your skull, okay, right on your brain, okay, and then it detects when you're getting ready to have seizure activity or at the very onset of seizure activity, and what it does is it gives you a little bit of stimulation, a little electrical current, and
Helps
it
you
says,
out?
stop that! And it does.
Hey.
And it does, it works.
That's awesome.
Okay?
So is that on top of other type of neurosurgery, or is this its own particular?
You would probably use this in conjunction with anti-epileptic medications. Okay?
I have to say, I don't know, but I think like partial onset seizures and partial epilepsy really have a lot of alternatives when it comes to really finding help. I mean, just depending on it, because it's just a piece of the brain and not the whole generalized part. So I think that if you have this type of information and you have, or if you know someone with partial epilepsy, really getting this type of information to them, because they're a wonderful resource.
Yes, this is huge.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, and you might think, oh my gosh, well, you know, the problems that could arise from this. You know, basically what this is another alternative to a person maybe taking 2 or 3 medications and having all those side effects. Because the only time this is working is when, in fact, it senses that you're getting ready to have seizure activity. So otherwise, it's dormant.
A GPS system. In your brain.
They always know where you are. We know where you are. We know what you're
I
thinking.
wonder if you can share from like Facebook, like check in.
I don't know, but I gotta imagine, this is, it works. Okay. The RNS system has been evaluated in 3 clinical trials, including a prospective, a randomized, and a double-blinded sham stimulation controlled pivotal study. The pivotal study's primary effectiveness endpoint was met by demonstrating a 37.9% reduction in seizure frequency in patients treated with responsive stimulation compared to a 17.3% reduction in patients who were implanted with the device but were not receiving responsive stimulation during the 3-month blinded period. The difference is statistically significant. So, you can have your seizure reduced almost by 40%.
That's nice.
That's not bad. That's not.
And it looks like it says here as well that this seems to be more directed to individuals that are 18 and older. So, yeah, just making sure that we let that. This is definitely not something that you can do for a child, but more of that adulthood options.
Yeah, so it's been approved for adults over 18. You're correct, and you're right in pointing that out. But this is a pretty cool thing, okay, and certainly something that's there and is, I can remember talking about this a couple years ago when it was in the trials, that this is something that's really, really exciting. This has come to fruition.
Because I remember, I feel like we talked about this, but was that and not to go into that, but did that have something to do with, wasn't it like the transcranial? There was something else that was kind of working like this, but was
I'm trying to think. I think that was outside.
Okay.
I think that was outside of the skull. This is actually implanted within. Now I'm wondering what they do when, do they have to go back in there when your battery goes dead?
I don't know.
Just a question.
I mean,
just a question.
And that's something that maybe I was thinking, well, you know what? Because that's bad. I mean, I don't want to think about somebody's, how I feel about my cell phone if my battery goes dead. So I can only imagine what this would be. But maybe it's like solar or rechargeable. I don't know.
So
I highly doubt it's double A because they be switching those out all the time.
When you go to sleep,
Need some more double A's or get at least a D.
Plug in.
That's so bad.
Plug in and recharge.
Well, good.
That's what I do with my cell phone every night, before, the last thing I do before I go to bed is plug the darn thing in.
Yeah. I do mine in between intervals of work and home. But but this is great
because
news.
you use it so much.
This is true.
But it's kind of this is a cool thing, okay? And
Yeah.
certainly something that you might want to talk to your neurologist about if in fact you're not having good seizure control. Hey, how do I get to talk to somebody about the
new GPS system?
no,
just
the
kidding.
neuro-
the neurostimulation. So
the
no one gets
RNS.
confused. Yes.
Which is short for responsive neurostimulation therapy. Responsive neurostimulation therapy. We look at it if in fact you think it might be an option for you. Certainly it's out there. Something brand spanking new on the market. Here's something else that's brand spanking new on the market.
What's brand
The
spanking
FDA
new?
has approved Aptiom. Aptiom is a medication that's used to control partial seizures, and it's used to control partial seizures in people over the age of 18, and the FDA has approved it. And I'm not sure if it's on the market yet, because there's a certain period of time, there's a lag period of time between FDA approval and actually you being able to go to the pharmacy and get it. Okay, again, something to talk to your physician about if in fact, you're looking at your seizure logs and you're saying, I'm having pretty much seizure activity, maybe this might be of some assistance to me.
Well, I saw this interesting fact, and I think with new information like this and just different facts that you learn, and it's talking about that epilepsy is a brain disorder of abnormal or excessive activity in the brain's nerve cells. And this is what's interesting to me when you have to break down facts, especially for individuals that aren't familiar. You have approximately 200,000 new cases in the United States each year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's incredible.
That's a lot of people.
And I feel like with it being that high of a number, you have to think about why we all aren't talking about this. Like, this is something that I feel like everyone has to be hands-on about because it can affect anyone. I have this thing on because I did a big thing on Facebook with changing my page with all of these different facts. And it was saying that, and I'm not for sure of all of it, but it did say that the information came from like MAD, CDC, and some other things, that more people die of seizures, whether it's SUDEP or something like that, than they do from cancer, car accidents, and something else. I can't remember that third one, but putting it in that perspective, I mean, and that's nothing going against breast cancer or cancer within itself, but I think that there's a lot of hype that we need to put on epilepsy as well. Because 200,000 people a year, I mean, 65 around the world. How many do we have here? 23 million just in the United States. So this number, how many? 2.3, sorry. Yeah, but this number is increasing. And I mean, there's more people that are finding out about epilepsy. So hopefully this drug, works to help. I know that it's talking about that if they're not achieving that satisfactory seizure control, that this may be something else to move into.
And I think initially this drug is like an add-on. So instead of taking you off your current medication, they would probably add this on to your current medication in order to hopefully help decrease your seizure activity. So another tool in the toolbox for people to be aware of that they can talk to their doctor about, and certainly look at another option to the medications that they may be taking.
Yeah, because you sure can't nail a nail without a hammer, so better to have more tools than not have any at all.
Exactly. Okay, and this is sort of